My name is Jaime Hammond, and in this video, I'm going to break down 7 things that they did not teach you in school about credit and how to achieve a 7 to 800 credit score. Right now, my credit score is 770. I own my own credit repair specialist company where I teach people how to repair their credit and build their profile out for approvals. So the first thing we're going to break down is a score breakdown. And just so you know, everyone starts off with a 300 credit score. It's not a penalty. That is just what everyone starts off with. They need to know if you're trustworthy with money. They need to know if you can make your payments. It's your it's your relationship score. It shows how trustworthy you are. That is what a credit score is. So everyone starts off at a 300 credit score, and then you have to build your way out. It's a game. If you never have debt, then you cannot get into this game. You have to get in debt to get a credit score. What that consists of is a credit card. It doesn't matter if it's a loan, even a phone bill considers as debt as long as you're making payments on it. So the first thing is on-time payment history. And on-time payment history is 35% of your score. That is 192.5 points that payment history has alone. So that's 192 points that payment history has effect on your overall 800 score, 850 score that you can achieve. So that means that payment history is the difference between you having a 7 and 800 credit score, or if you're at the 5, it's the difference between you having a 6 or 500 credit score. That means if you miss one payment, it can take up to 100 points from your credit report. It doesn't matter if you've been on time for all your life. You miss one payment, it takes away 100 points. The next most important factor is your utilization. And utilization comes up to 165 points of the 850. Utilization is how much you use a credit card. You cannot get utilization unless you have a credit card, and that is a revolving credit card. Charge cards does not consider as this. Just like the Amex card does not report utilization, it just reports a balance. So most people like to say 30%, but what I'm going to recommend is 10%, just so you get the maximum benefits out of your credit card. So what this would look like is if you have a limit for say of $1,000, 10% of that would be $100. Only use that $100 of the card. Let it report. It is super important that you let the balances report to the credit bureaus so that they see you're actively using the card. It doesn't matter if you use the card and you pay it off before it reports. It has to report. So you have to show them that you're in debt. After your statement goes, you can use the remaining balance of the card. So if you have $1,000 credit limit, you used up $100, you let it report. You can use the remaining balance. Just when it comes around to the statement date, make sure it shows $100 balance, or 80 if you wanted to go lower. The next important factor is credit age, and you only can get credit age by 2 ways. Building your credit, which takes time, as it should, and opening up accounts. You cannot open up a certain amount of accounts if you want your credit age to continue to grow. You need to let your accounts age, or your credit age will automatically decrease. And the second way, the newer way, is trade lines. Trade lines are used as an in and out game, but you can buy primary trade lines as well. Primary trade lines stay on your credit report and you keep the age. Temporary trade lines are for when you're trying to get higher approval odds on certain credit cards. They give you a boost. It's an in and out game. It's not longevity unless you get a primary account. The next thing is hard inquiries. You get a hard inquiry anytime you apply for any credit application and they pull your credit. It is 55 points of your credit. It's not as high as the credit age, which is 82.5 points, but it is still an important factor. You don't want to just be applying for any and everything because it can decrease your scores. The maximum amount of hard inquiries that you want to have is about 4. Just because if you have more than that, you look like high risk to a lender. And if you're looking and begging for credit, they don't want to lend to you. They want to give credit to people who are not actively searching for money. You don't need it, they want to give it to you. Credit mix is having a mixture of accounts. So what this looks like is credit cards, installment accounts, which are loans, and auto loans as well, which can be considered an installment account. Credit mix comes up to 55 points on your overall credit report, and this totals out to the 555 points that you get other than the 300 that you start with. Next thing that's going to get you to the next step is a checkings and savings account. If you've ever applied for a credit card or application, they always ask you, do you have a checkings and savings account? Because if you don't have a checkings account, how are you going to pay them back? And the saving accounts just shows them that you have money saved just in case anything goes wrong. The next thing that's going to help you get to that higher score is applying for a secured card. But what I like to tell people is to go credit builder route, just because you can build credit faster and you do not get hard inquiry. One of the main credit builders that I recommend is Ava, because you get 2 of the most important things that you need to build credit, which is a credit card and an installment loan with 1 account. And also you can backdate up to 2 years of your rent with just 1 credit builder account. So you get no hard inquiry, you get a credit card, and you get an active loan on your report. And make sure when you're starting out, you do not get no hard inquiries for 6 months, because if you do, it'll slow down your process if you're looking to get more funding. Always let your account age. Always let your credit profile age. Keep your utilization under 10% or at 10% or less for the best credit scores possible. Any higher than that is not really too much of a risk. Some people say 30%, but as I said, 10% is best if you want to get the maximum scores. Always ask for a credit line increase. Always ask for a credit line increase. Always. Ask for a credit line increase every 6 months from whatever card you're using. In some cases, banks do allow you to ask for a credit line increase in 3 months, but it's pretty rare. And what that does is it gives you more of the utilization to use as your score increase. And these are 7 tips that they didn't teach you in school. And this is the best way to achieve a 700 to 800 credit score as soon as possible.